What's up, Packer fans? Welcome back to the Pack a Day podcast. I'm your host, Andy Herman. You can follow me on Twitter at Andy Herman NFL. Thanks so much for joining me today. We are going to be finishing up part 2 of our rookie expectation series. If you missed yesterday's episode, I highly recommend checking that out first. What we're trying to do here is basically set proper expectations for the Packers rookies this upcoming season by looking at historical trends, more recent draft picks at their specific positions to see exactly how did players that were drafted in a similar area at a similar position perform over the last handful of seasons or so. And then we sort of go back a little ways further when we look at Packers history as well. But we're going to look at it from all different angles. If you want a full breakdown of what we're doing, definitely check out yesterday's video first. We checked out the Packers' first 5 picks yesterday. We're going to finish up with their last 6 picks today. We're going to start with Zachary Tom. As I gave the disclaimer yesterday, a couple of them really quick, I am going to be going through a lot of numbers. I'm going to be going through a lot of stats and PFF grades. So I'm going to have to read through a lot of different stuff. So I apologize if my eye contact isn't there like usual. Also, just because players have performed historically one way does not mean that Zach Tom and Samori Toure are destined for one thing or the other. They are going to have their own individual careers, and all of these players are going to be as successful as they want to be. So it's not to say that any of these players couldn't bust. It's not to say that any of these players couldn't be phenomenal. I'm not even necessarily looking at what these players are going to be, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 years down the line, right? I'm looking at what we can expect these rookies, what level we can expect them to perform at this upcoming season. Almost looking at this as like a Vegas over-under, right? If we're looking at all the historical trends, that should give us a fairly good idea of like where to level set for these rookies. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Let's kick things off with Zach Tom, Packers' 4th round offensive lineman, who was picked 140th overall. So let's first of all take a look at Brian Gutekunst's most recent 4th round picks. We did this yesterday as well, but we'll go through it once again today. He's only had 2 4th-round picks in his tenure as Packers general manager. That includes Royce Newman last season, who played 1,084 snaps with a 55.7 grade, and then Jamon Moore, who played 75 snaps with a 53.5 grade. So those were his only 4th-round picks. And I just want to intervene really quickly here to talk about Royce Newman, because I think so many times we get lost in the shuffle of like, all right, was this a Pro Bowl caliber player? Was this a really good player? Let's not forget Royce Newman as a rookie was very valuable to the Packers, and they clearly got their ROI on a late 4th round pick with Royce Newman, somebody who, well, definitely didn't perform at like a high level and was somebody that, you know, you would have liked to have maybe upgraded a little bit from. Getting 1,000+ snaps from a rookie offensive lineman to have him play slightly below average football, there's a lot of value there, and he played some really good football at times for the Packers, and I think his best football is still in front of him. So even though, you know, we're not looking at, you know, Royce Newman as like, oh, he's going to be a future all-pro at guard, what he gave the Packers last year was valuable, and the depth that he will continue to provide, whether, you know, even if he doesn't get like exponentially better, the depth that he'll, you know, be able to provide and potentially even be a starting guard will still be super valuable for this team. So those were Brian Gutekunst's most recent 4th round picks. Now let's take a look at the 4 players that were selected 140th overall in the last 4 drafts. So last season it was Buddy Johnson from the Steelers, who played a total of 6 snaps, and that was a 38.6 grade in those 6 snaps. So not a great start for Buddy Johnson at linebacker. How about Shaq Quarterman, another linebacker who was drafted the season before for the Jaguars? He played 0 snaps as a rookie. Raquel Armstead, another Jaguar, 3 years ago was a running back for the Jaguars, 150 snaps with a 55.4 grade. And Maurice Hurst, the year before that, the best of the bunch, defensive lineman for the Raiders at the time. He's now a 49er, 472 snaps with a 70.1 grade. So if we look at the 4 most recent picks at 140 overall, your high-end player is Maurice Hurst. Again, 472 snaps as a rookie with a 70.1 grade. Your low end is Shaq Quarterman, who didn't play at all, or Buddy Johnson, who played 6 snaps very poorly. So anywhere in that range would be sort of what you could expect, again, over the last handful of seasons. How about Packers' 4th round offensive lineman since 1990? Check out this initial group. We talked about Royce Newman already, who had 16 starts as a rookie. The last 4th round pick prior to that, David Bakhtiari, also 16 starts as a rookie. Prior to that, it was J.C. Tretter, who only had, or didn't have any starts, but went on to have a heck of a career. TJ Lang, only 3 starts as a rookie, but once again, heck of a career. Josh Sitton, 2 starts as a rookie, amazing career. Alan Barber didn't have any starts, and you might be thinking, Alan Barber sucked. Well, he went on to have a decade-long career. Not bad for a 4th-round pick. Most of that was not with the Packers. In fact, almost all of it was not. Bill Ferrario and Jeff Miller rounded out. Both of them had 0 starts, and I don't think they ever really played throughout the entirety of their careers. But Green Bay had a lot of success with 4th-round offensive linemen, including Newman, Bakhtiari, Treader, Lang, Sitton, etc. So a really good group there. And again, the high end, David Bakhtiari with 16 starts. The low end, Jeff Miller, Bill Ferrario with no starts and basically no added value throughout the course of their careers. All right, how about recent 4th-round offensive linemen that were picked around 140? So let's start with this past season. There were 3. Josh Ball, the offensive lineman for the Cowboys, who did not play any snaps a season ago. Dante Smith, offensive lineman for the Bengals, who played 62 snaps last season at a 52.3 clip. We talked about Royce Newman last year with 1,000+ snaps with a 55.7 grade. In 2020, there were 4 offensive linemen. Kevin Dotson for the Steelers, probably your best bet player here, 358 snaps as a rookie with a 66.2 grade. Ben Bredesen for the Ravens, 48 snaps with a 47.4 grade. Jack Driscoll for the Eagles, 300 snaps with a 57.4 grade. Tyler Biadasz, former Badger, for the Dallas Cowboys, 427 snaps with a 53.5 grade. Michael Jordan for the Bengals in 2019. Yes, Michael Jordan. 648 snaps with a 43.7 grade. And unfortunately, the last one before that was Cole Madison for the Packers, who did not play any snaps and sat out that first season. So those were the recent 4th-round offensive linemen selected around pick 140. Interesting that a lot of, I guess I wouldn't say like nobody played a ton of snaps outside of Royce Newman, but like almost all of them got some playing time and had like some mediocre level of success, right? With again, Kevin Dotson probably being the best example here, where he played 358 snaps with a 66.2. So Dotson would be your high end. Josh Ball, no snaps. Cole Madison, no snaps. Those would probably be your low end type of players. So we've got some good things here. Maurice Hurst had a really nice rookie season. Royce Newman played 1,000+ snaps for the Packers last year, and he was a 4th-round pick just a season ago. David Bakhtiari had 16 starts as a starter, former Packer 4th-round offensive lineman. And Kevin Dotson in 2020, a really nice 4th-round pick for the Steelers. So, if you're looking for high-end Zach Tom hopes, Maurice Hurst, David Bakhtiari, Kevin Dotson, those are all really good examples. If you're looking for some, realistic, or I guess if you're a pessimist, Jamon Moore really struggled as a 4th-round pick for the Packers. Shaq Quarterman played no snaps as a rookie for the Jaguars. You've got your Bill Ferrarios and your Jeff Millers, and then Cole Madison and Josh Ball, who didn't play any snaps as a rookie. So we sort of run the gamut there, but I think a fair expectation is, potential of some playing time, maybe a spot start here or there, and probably somewhere around 100 to 200 snaps with probably a below average grade if we're sort of averaging everything out. All right, let's go to Kingsley Enagbare. And I think this is a really key one because that depth behind Rashawn Gary and Preston Smith is really, really difficult and to predict and what's going to happen. And they need as many players to step up at that position as they can possibly get. I think there's a lot of high hopes for Kingsley Enagbare. I will give you some reason for hope, and I'll give you some reason for trepidation as well. Let's first of all take a look at the Packers' recent 5th-round picks. TJ Slayton, 266 snaps as a rookie with a 52.8 grade. Also Shamar Jean-Charles last year, 38 snaps with a 45.5 grade. Kamal Martin as a rookie, 208 snaps with a 68.5 grade. Kingsley Keke, 107 snaps with a 65.5 grade. Cole Madison, we talked about, no snaps as a rookie. J.K. Scott, 147 snaps as a punter with a 63.9 grade. And MVS as a rookie, 691 snaps with a 60.4 grade. This is a really interesting group to look at because you look at Kamal Martin, Kingsley Keke, J.K. Scott, MVS, all of them had some level of success. In fact, all of them graded above average by Pro Football Focus in their rookie seasons. However, all declined besides MVS, all declined significantly after that. And the only players that are now with the Packers are TJ Slayton and Shamar Jean-Charles, who were just drafted last season. Kamal Martin cut, Kingsley Keke cut, Cole Madison cut, J.K. Scott cut, and then MVS just signed with the Chiefs. So a really tough, sort of group to evaluate there. As rookies, you got some ROI. TJ Slayton, Kamal Martin, Kingsley Keke, J.K. Scott, MVS all played in some capacity. But again, not a ton of long-term success for the Packers there. So hopefully Enagbare Enagbare can break that trend. How about recent pick 179 overall? Last year, the Cowboys took Simi Fehoko, a wide receiver who played a total of 7 snaps with a 60.0 grade. Prior to that, the Cowboys also had the pick. Bradlee Anae was an edge rusher who played a total of 6 snaps, made the most of them with a 85.2 grade. Lamont Galliard before that was the Cardinals offensive lineman who did not play any snaps as a rookie. And then Perry Nickerson was the year before that, who was a corner for the Jets, 213 snaps with a 45.8 grade. So unfortunately here, not a lot of recent success at pick 179 overall. Perry Nickerson was the only one who got any real playing time, and he had a 45.8 grade that season. So not great at pick 179 overall recently. However, there is some good news. Green Bay's basically only had 2 edge rushers that they've selected since 1990. Michael Montgomery was one that you could potentially put in this list. He sort of played defensive line, a little bit of edge, kind of in between. I put him more in that defensive lineman category. The 2 that I'm going to talk about here, Aaron Campman and Kabir Bajabiamila. That's a pretty good group. Now, to be fair, Aaron Campman was drafted more as an interior defensive lineman, then moved to a 4-3 defensive end before finally, sort of finalizing his career as a 3-4 outside linebacker when Green Bay made the switch. So you could argue that they didn't draft him as an edge rusher, but to give, Kingsley Enagbare some good juju, we'll say that the last 2 were both Kabir and Aaron Campman, who went on to have phenomenal careers for the Packers. However, even though those were 2 phenomenal picks for Green Bay, 5th-round edge rushers who had great careers, their rookie stats, Aaron Campman had 6 starts, which is really good, but only 23 tackles and a half of a sack. So not exactly a huge impact player. Kabir, no starts, 9 tackles, 1.5 sacks. So even though these 2 great Packers were steals in the 5th round and had great careers, their rookie years, they combined for 2 sacks total. So if we're expecting a ton of success, even if you told me Kingsley Enagbare was going to be the next Aaron Campman or Kabir as a rookie, the expectations should still remain relatively low. How about recent 5th-round edge rushers at around pick 179? Ernest Brown last year was taken by the Rams. He did not play any snaps. Adetokunbo Agundeji for the Falcons, sorry for the butchering of the pronunciation there, was a edge rusher last year who played 527 snaps for the Falcons with a 54.2 grade. Mike Dana in 2020 for the Chiefs, 389 snaps with a 63.2 grade. Bradlee Anae, we talked about for the Cowboys, 6 snaps with that 85.2 grade. Duke Ejiofor for the Texans in 2018, 174 snaps with a 46.3 grade. And Kylie Fitz for the Bears, 58 snaps with a 46.0 grade. So not a ton of success there. Mike Dana, not a terrible year when he was a rookie for the Chiefs with around 400 snaps and a slightly above average grade. But if we're looking at this, if you're hopeful, you hope you get an MVS sort of rookie year out of Kingsley Enagbare. That'd be great. I'm talking obviously if we're equating it to an edge rusher. I don't think Kingsley Enagbare is going to be running a 4.2 40 at wide receiver, but you get my point. You hope that they develop into the next Aaron Campman or Kabir Bajabiamila. Even Campman had at least 6 starts, so he made an impact for that team. And Mike Dana for the Chiefs played almost 400 snaps with an above average grade. So there's certainly some level of success there, but again, you look at the more recent ones who were taken at 179 overall, not a ton of success there. So again, temper expectations as needed. Now we're going to get into the Packers' 4 7th-round picks. They did not have a 6th-rounder. So the 4 7th-round picks, I'm only going to go over the recent 7th-round picks once. So I'm not going to do it for all 4 of the picks. You're welcome. Kylan Hill last year, 26 snaps with a 55.5 grade. Vernon Scott the year before that, 90 snaps with a 57.4 grade. Jonathan Garvin as a rookie, 85 snaps with a 53.5 grade. Ty Summers had no defensive snaps as a rookie. James Looney as a rookie, 20 snaps with a 66.8 grade. Hunter Bradley as a rookie long snapper had 146 snaps with a 31.3 grade. And Kendall Donnerson did not have any snaps as a rookie. So those are the Packers' recent 7th-round picks. A couple of, almost 100 snap seasons for Garvin, Vernon Scott, Hunter Bradley, but not a ton of overall success. James Looney, of all people, the only one with an above average grade, and he played a total of 20 snaps. And as far as long-term success, really only Kylan Hill has shown any real potential to have maybe some long-term success. And of course, he's coming off an ACL injury. So not super great results from the 7th round recently. How about pick 228 overall, which we're looking at Tariq Carpenter right now. That's where he was drafted. Thomas Graham Jr. for the Bears last year had an 84.5 grade by PFF. Only 112 snaps, so not a ton of playing time, but definitely made the most of it. Sterling Hoffrichter, the Falcons punter, as a rookie had 158 snaps with a 63.6 grade. Thomas Sweeney, the Bills tight end, had 129 snaps for a 72.6 grade. And Marcel Aitman for the Raiders, 370 snaps with a 53.5 grade. So interesting pick 228 overall. Not bad recently, right? If these 7th round picks are like half of these guys get cut, right? So the fact that Thomas Graham had a nice season for the Bears and only 112 snaps, the Falcons got a punter out of it. The Bills got sort of a backup tight end with 129 snaps and a 72.6 grade. Even the Raiders with Marcel Aitman, only 53.5 grade, but 370 snaps out of them. All 4 of those teams got some ROI on their late 7th round picks. So not a bad streak going there. How about Packers 7th round safeties since 1990? Only 2. Vernon Scott, who had 13 tackles and 1 sack as a rookie, no starts, and Chris Aiken, who had 0 starts and 11 tackles as a rookie as well. How about recent 7th round safeties that were taken near pick 228? Also, not a ton of data here, not a ton of safeties that were taken around that spot. Jacoby Stevens last year for the Eagles played 44 snaps with a brutal 24.1 grade. And again, Vernon Scott for the Packers in 2020, 90 snaps with a 57.4 grade. So not a ton of indicators for success here for Tariq Carpenter. Kylan Hill showed some flashes a season ago. Thomas Graham for the Bears last year. Again, all the recent pick 228s had at least some level of success, but overall not a ton of great signs for Tariq Carpenter. So set your expectations accordingly on him. All right, but how about Jonathan Ford? Recent 234 overall pick, which again is exactly what Jonathan Ford was. The most recent pick last season was Patrick Johnson, Eagles defensive end, 112 snaps for a 66.4 grade. So again, you're not complaining about that as a mid-tier, middle 7th round pick. Clay Johnston, Rams linebacker, 3 snaps with a 67.2 grade. Myles Gaskin, who's had a decent career as a running back so far, 125 snaps with a 57.4 grade as a rookie. And then Andre Smith, not the offensive lineman, the linebacker for the Panthers, 11 snaps, 54.9 grade. So Myles Gaskin, some long-term success. Patrick Johnson had a little bit of success last year, so not terrible at 234. How about Packers 7th round defensive linemen since 1990? This is a rather interesting group. James Looney, no starts, no stats. Lawrence Guy, he had 0 starts for the Packers, went on to play the rest of his career with other teams, had a really great career, but unfortunately didn't make the Packers originally. CJ Wilson, had maybe 4 or 5 years with the Packers. As a rookie, he had 2 starts, 19 tackles, and a sack. And then you had Ron Moore, Bob Kuberski, and Lester Archambault, all who didn't have any starts or any stats in their rookie season. So Lawrence Guy went on to have a great career, but really the only rookie here, and it's not like they didn't have any, right? So that's like 6 defensive linemen since 1990. The only one who had any success at all as a rookie was CJ Wilson with 2 starts, 19 tackles, and 1 sack. How about recent 7th round defensive linemen that were near pick 234? Phil Hoskins last year for the Panthers, 28 snaps with a 44.6 grade. Carlos Davis with the Steelers, 59 snaps with a 60.3 grade in 2020. Jayshon Cornell for the Lions in 2020 had 4 snaps with a 57.2 grade, and Dontavius Russell for the Jaguars in 2019 had 48 snaps with a 36.0 grade. So once again, not a ton of indicators for success. Patrick Johnson had a pretty nice year a season ago with 112 snaps and a 66.4 grade. CJ Wilson had a couple starts and a sack as a rookie for the Packers, but overall, not a ton of defensive linemen with success around that pick 234 in the 7th round for the Packers in their history. All right, let's go to Rasheed Walker. We've got a couple more good signs for Rasheed Walker here, maybe more than the last 2 7th round picks. All right, let's start at pick 249 overall. Last year, the Rams took Ben Skoranek, wide receiver. He actually played 259 snaps for the defending champions, or last year the champions, I guess. 53.7 grade, so not great, but again, you're not complaining about that for a 7th round pick. Brian Cole for the Vikings played no snaps as a rookie. Michael Dogba for the Cardinals played 82 snaps with a 56.2 grade. He was a defensive end. And then Logan Woodside, the quarterback for the Bengals, played no snaps as a rookie. Packers 7th round offensive lineman since 1990 is a really interesting mixed bag. The most recent one was Andrew Datko, who didn't do anything, no starts, nothing as a rookie. Will Whitaker it was a really interesting case study, who was drafted by the Packers in the 7th round, made 14 starts as a rookie. So it's not like they gave him a couple games, right? They started him for 14 games, then didn't make the team next year and never played again. Like, just a really crazy 7th round career. But then before that, you had Scott Wells, who made 2 starts as a rookie, Mark Tauscher, who had 14 starts as a rookie, and Adam Timmerman, who had 0 starts, but all 3 of those guys, Wells, Tauscher, and Timmerman, went on to have huge careers for the Packers. So 7th round offensive linemen, not exactly throwaway picks. If Walker could be Wells, Tauscher, or Timmerman, you would be doing cartwheels. Now, more likely to be an Andrew Datko or a Will Whitaker, but we have seen the Packers have some success, and Whitaker and Tauscher both with 14 starts as rookies. How about recent 7th round offensive lineman near pick 249? The most recent one is Michael Manet, who is a current Green Bay Packer, believe it or not. He played with the Cardinals, or was drafted by the Cardinals a season ago. He did not have any snaps. Will Fries with the Colts in 2021, 22 snaps with a 54.8 grade. Tremaine Ankrum, I think, for the Rams, played in 2020 for the Rams as a rookie, 3 snaps, 61.1 grade. Kyle Hinton for the Vikings, no snaps. Javon Patterson for the Colts, no snaps. Joshua Miles for the Cardinals, 3 snaps with a 60.4 grade. Will Clapp for the Saints in 2018, 108 snaps with a 56.1 grade. And Rod Taylor with the Bengals, no snaps. So the vast majority of these offensive linemen in their rookie year, again, picked 249, around there, no snaps. Really the only one that got any significant snaps at all was Will Clapp in 2018 with 108 snaps and a slightly below average grade. So that's probably your high upside there. Again, you're hoping for a Mark Tauscher or a Scott Wells or an Adam Timmerman, but again, would be probably wise to not expect too many snaps out of Rasheed Walker. And then last but not least, that brings us to Samori Toure. Pick 258 overall is going to be pretty easy to discuss, because over the last 4 years, there's only been one 258 pick overall. In 2021, 2020, and 2019, there were not any pick 258 overall. The most recent one, though, was a fairly decent comparison. The Commanders last year took Dax Milne, wide receiver, 163 snaps with a 57.8 grade. I think if the Packers got that out of Samori Toure this year, they'd be pretty satisfied with that, getting, around 200 snaps with a fairly decent grade for a rookie. That's not too bad from Dax Milne. So maybe that can be a harbinger of things to come for Samori Toure. How about Packers 7th round wide receiver since 1990? There is a ridiculous amount. So this is something they've gone to the well with many times. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, I think here. Malachi Dupree, nothing as a rookie. Jeff Janis as a rookie had 2 catches for 16 yards. Charles Johnson, nothing as a rookie. Kevin Dorsey had 1 catch for 4 yards. Brett Swain did nothing. DeAndre Rubin did nothing. Carl Ford did nothing. Charles Lee had 1 start, 10 catches, and 134 yards as a rookie. Donald Driver, you remember him. 3 catches, 31 yards, and a touchdown, no starts as a rookie. And then Chris Miller and Chris Holder both did absolutely nothing. So even though a guy like Donald Driver is on this list, of all those 7th round wide receivers that Green Bay selected, the best rookie season was by Charles Lee with 10 catches and 134 yards. And again, this is not a small sample size. This is a ton of players, including an all-time great Packer in Donald Driver. So do not expect too many catches from Samori Toure based on those examples. How about recent 7th round wide receivers around pick 258? Kawan Baker last year for the Saints, he did not play at all. We talked about Dax Milne, 163 snaps with a 57.8 grade. Tyree Cleveland for the Broncos had a fairly decent rookie year, 72 snaps with a 76.2 grade. Olabisi Johnson was sort of an outlier here. He played 597 snaps, almost 600 snaps as a rookie for the Vikings with a 63.7 grade. So that would be the really high-end performer here. Auden Tate for the Bengals played 77 snaps as a rookie with a 53.5 grade. Austin Prohl did not play at all for the Bills. And then Trey Quinn for the Commanders, 107 snaps with a 57.3 grade. So overall, wide receiver, I know that the names Dax Milne, Tyree Cleveland, Olabisi Johnson, Auden Tate, and Trey Quinn are not exactly household names, but at least the wide receivers around that pick have received some level of ROI outside of Kawan Baker last year and Austin Prohl. Pretty decent picks there. And again, if you're getting anything from that pick, you're feeling pretty good about it. So hopefully they can get the next Donald Driver. Let's be optimistic, right? The best case scenario, if maybe Zach Tom is the next David Bakhtiari, Maybe Kingsley Enagbare is the next Aaron Campman or Kabir Bajabiamila. Maybe Tariq Carpenter has a season like Thomas Graham did for the Bears a season ago. Maybe Jonathan Ford has a Lawrence Guy type career who went on to have a great career, just unfortunately not with the Packers. Maybe Rasheed Walker is the next Mark Tauscher. Maybe Samori Toure goes on to be the next Donald Driver. There's success stories all over here, and all of these players can be as good as they want to be, but I just want to set rookie expectations for all of these rookies. Again, go back and listen to yesterday's if you haven't already, because again, if you're looking at all these players, I mean, how many players that I named today did you even recognize the name of, right? Very few, and the ones that did were mostly like replacement level players at best, right? So clearly there were some Packer legends on this list, and there's always hope that one of these guys can develop into that next player. If you can get one of all the guys that I talked about today that goes on to have, you know, a really good starting career, that's a win, you know, ultimately at the end of the day. So I just want to say, if you stuck it out for almost an hour of breaking down Packers expectations for rookies over the last 2 days, you're the absolute best. You have the Andy Herman stamp of nerd approval and huge diehard Packer, whatever. Just absolutely amazing. I really appreciate you guys checking these out every day. It means a ton. I know right now the world is a little bit crazy, so just getting to talk to you guys about, you know, Samori Toure and rookie expectations is really good for my mental health, and hopefully you guys are enjoying it as well. Thanks so much for your time. Always appreciate it. I'll be right back here tomorrow with an all-new episode. But until next time, and as always, go Pack Go.